Yeah, and I want to show this video. This one had me cracking up, but this I forgot what the TV show Tashina Arnold was on, but this was
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
I know this. Black MAGA don't.
And there was another one where Chelsea Handler, I don't know if you ever seen her, but she was
Yeah.
on, and she was talking to some girl on her podcast. This thing is freezing again. She was talking to some girl on her podcast, and they were talking about how white folks don't bathe. And she was like, "Oh no," and she was like, "Well, what parts of your body that you always neglect?" She says, "Well, I don't wash my feet because it just trickles the soap trickles down from the top to the bottom." And she says that she don't really wash her legs because the soap again trickles down from the top to the bottom. She washes her hair, she washes the front parts and stuff, and then she does the credit card swipe. That's it. I said, y'all got to do more than just one credit card swipe because I said when I get in the shower, I'm fully bent over. Up, everything is out of there. I don't. It's disgusting. And I'm like, this is why I'm like when I get on airplanes, people say you so particular. I said well, the reason why I'm so particular is because I've seen shit stains in the seat.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, literally, this is why I always carry wet wipes. I'm like, it's so disgusting. And I said, it's not my job to clean this plane. Before people board, the people should be cleaning the plane. But I said, I know that they don't get paid for that, which I found out, a few years ago, that once the plane is like stationary, the flight attendants don't get paid nothing until the plane's back in the air.
Oh, let me go on Amazon and look for some fucking seat covers because now you done fuck my whole shit up. And I got the visual now. You know, fuck me up. Now I gotta make sure. God, you nasty ass motherfucking white people. You hate ass, you unwashed
Because
honky.
I know it wasn't nothing but a white person that left a shit stain on the airplane. Because that's fucking nasty. That's disgusting.
I can't. I gotta go buy some seat covers. Good God, a goddamn mighty. I can't do this shit here. Ooh, baby. Did you? I know you switch seats. I know you. Hey, come.
And you know what? I'm gonna show you this next one. I'm gonna show you this one too, just to piggyback off this.
Oh, good God.
No, I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think? No.
It's going on with your legs that they need washing.
It's your body. It's
No, I don't. Don't wash. Girls don't wash their legs. We talked about this. White girls don't wash their legs. I go, why?
And 50 Cent was fucking on you?
My legs are going out without me.
very true.
And when I take
They're
a shower,
hillbilly.
all the soap from my shower comes down. Tiffany, I had this conversation with too.
So you feel like that's why I should be
That is, it's not like my legs are out there gardening all day without me.
Imagine shampooing and conditioning your pussy and thinking that's enough. But all right.
You don't think? No.
It's going on with your legs that they need washing.
It's your body. You wash your body, Chelsea. Your entire body. You don't pick and choose.
I have hot spots.
Probably don't even use like a wash rag. You're like a hand.
No, I don't use a washer.
Oh my God.
No.
And then you got this big
Nothing.
bitch over here with these
Hands have to
motherfucking
good.
crooks and creditors
Chelsea
and she
Handler,
right
our
here
resident
co-signing
addict
this
of
shit.
shock
I know
trauma,
you lying.
decided to.
I'm telling y'all, it's just
I know you. Cause see, it's one thing to be a skinny bitch and doing it, but you a big bitch. You should know better. You should know better. It is one thing to be as a big bitch myself. If you don't get to scrubbing every fucking roll you got, I know good and goddamn well you look. I could imagine that funky ass flap. That fupa flap is so goddamn funky. I know it is. I know it is.
Oh, well, before I move on from that one, I just want to read. And you know what? This was actually interesting. We didn't even get through all. Look at all these clips I have at the top. We didn't even get through them because
we still got time.
The conversation just naturally rolled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know when everybody's just talking and it just rolls, it's just like it's just natural. So y'all was actually creating the topic. You was like, well, I don't like that funky ass bitch. Let's talk about her. And then we had a whole other topic. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it.
This is for the people, y'all. This is
For
how
the
it goes.
people.
We have it. We vision have the vision, but sometimes we got to get the fuck off the rails, and that's why you go. Okay?
And I'm going to read some of the comments before I move on from this one. Well, shit, we didn't. This was like 3 conversations ago. Spoiled. Jillian Michaels has adopted a black child. It's always her kind raising a black child that needs to be stopped. Deliver believer. Disbelievers flies 9. Exactly why they remove books. Radacio Rosario, is this the fitness group? Am I showing my age? Vicky Ivory, guilty white folks trying to absolve their horrid history. All right, we're gonna move on from this one. Now, I don't know if y'all seen this. I'm gonna play it for you twice because this pissed me off. This been circulating I just need y'all to, I don't even want y'all to look at the title. I just look at the video, okay? Because this really upset me.
And she was crying. She started crying.
She's already mad when she grabbed them damn things.
Just gonna watch it one more time to see what happened. Now, my question to y'all is based off this, because I'm like with all these kids being unalived, there was just a little kid that just got unalived recently from another daycare. He was at the YMCA because one of the people gave him a meatball. He's 2 years old. Gave him a meatball. He ended up choking to death. And they were saying, "Oh, he's breathing." But she's like, "Why would they close the door?" And my question to you guys is, and let me find that other video. I think I might have that video somewhere. I know I've seen it. But I'm going to ask y'all a question. Is there, like, it's actually, here it is right here. I'm going to show this to you right here so that way you can see it.
I don't have nothing left but my son's shirt. I don't even want to take a shower because I got his scent on my skin.
A mother's worst nightmare has become reality for Shamira Cook. The mother of two who's pregnant with her third said she dropped her 2-year-old son Santi off at the YMCA in Franklin Square Tuesday morning, and a few hours later got a phone call she'll never forget.
I received a phone call at 11:47 from the director saying that my son choked on a meatball and that they're working on him and that everything's okay, but we need you here.
She rushed to the YMCA with her fiance to find first responders working to revive Santi.
They had my son on the floor doing CPR, and he was already intubated before we got there. And nobody called me beforehand. The EMS closed his room. and director came out of nowhere hugging me, saying he's fine, he's breathing. But when they're closing the door like that, I just know something's wrong.
Cook says she wasn't called right away and thinks things could have been different if she was.
I only lived 3 minutes from the daycare. All they had to do was just call me. They let 15 minutes go by and my son is gone before anybody even get him to the hospital.
Signs are now taped to the front door of the center stating they're closed. In a statement, the YWCA said in part, staff responded immediately and followed all emergency procedures, including administering age-appropriate first aid and calling 911. Emergency services were contacted and the child's family was immediately notified and involved throughout the process.
For them to even have the audacity to say that they talked to me the whole process through is a slap to my face.
Now Cook is left to grieve an unimaginable loss, left with just 2 years of memories with her son and his belongings that still remain at the daycare.
He passed away in front of his cubby. I can't even go back to go get his book bag because I can't do it. As soon as I go past his cubby, I'm just going to see him just laying there.
So my question to y'all is, what family member or friend, if you have a child, have you regretted leaving your child with? Or when you were little, who did you regret your family members leaving you at their house with? I'll start with mine. I would say mine would have to be with my mother's cousin. Her name was Teresa. You have a cousin of a cousin, but they're not like your aunt. That's like your cousin because they're cousins.
Yeah.
And he was her son, his name was Skylar, was very abusive. very, 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 very abusive. And I will never forget, like, he was like twice, I used to be really bony, like razor thin. And my mom and everybody knew that he was touching his sister. And so she would say, "Oh, my tatas, he touched my tatas." And his mom was so, "Oh, she's just being fast. She's being grown." And I'm like, everybody's looking like she's 6 years old. And she's saying that your son, who's 15, is touching her. And Skylar was he was a big 14-year-old. And I remember that they wanted to leave us they wanted him to watch us. And I was outside and I heard my sister like screaming, she's like, "Ah!" She was screaming and I said, "What's wrong?" And so he said, "He's trying to touch me." And, I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on here? So I said, "Well, you got to go back to your house," because they stayed across the street. And I said, "I'll let my mom know what's all going on." He said, "You ain't gonna let her know nothing." So he tried to pull her in the bathroom. I had to try to fight him off. And Skylar was he was powerful. And he ended up knocking me like back and I hit the glass, whatever. And he said, "Well, if you're not gonna let your sister give it to me, you're going to give it to me." And so I had to take her place, and I couldn't win. And so that's why I tell people, like, leaving your children with other people that they don't know is horrible in that sense, especially when there's no supervision, because it's just the way. It's just like, I mean, it's either I know I couldn't beat him. He's like 2-3 times my size, and I had to protect my sister. And so I would never forget that. And I would never forget when I told my mom. My mom was like, "Oh, that's that faggot shit. That's that." I was like, and my sister sitting there saying he tried, and they know that he has a history of doing this to his sister. And it's like, and his mother was so overly religious, praise Jesus, and all I could do is look at her like, are you not seeing what's going on with your son mentally?
They see it. That's first of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. I can't even like fathom that. And
Right.
I can say that thankfully, the people that, I had an error like, I had even with my daughter, but for me, I was never left in that situation. My parents were very strict as far as like who they left me with, or I couldn't go to people's houses. I couldn't even go to people's houses until I was like a teenager, because it was like, if we don't know them, you're not interacting. So any place I need to go, I had to be driven. I wasn't left to like walk home. Like most of the kids my age, because my parents were 10 and 20 years older than my friends' parents, they would always be able to walk home and go hang out to this little dance thing on the weekend. And mind you, we're in elementary school and I couldn't do any of that. And I thank God now looking back at it, you feel so restricted. But, it was a time, and, the lady who used to watch me, Miss Sarah, I never had to worry about that. And then with my daughter, it was one of my dad's people that he knew watched her $50 a week. All I had to do was pick her up. She was bathed, fed, and everything. And that was her nana, because my mother had already never met her. She had already died before I gave birth. And so I'm lucky in that respect. And that's also why I never dated while I was raising my daughter, because I never wanted to put her in that position. So I made the conscious decision that I'm going to raise my child. I'm not going to, that I can get a personal life later. And I talked about this on my live last night. My daughter told me, she was like, hey, in a couple of years, this was a few years ago when I was 38. She's like, "I'm going to college soon. I don't want you to be alone. And I don't mind you getting a boyfriend, but I don't want a man here." And she only had to say that to me one time, because I was like, this is my place of peace, but it's your home and it's your place of peace. And I'm not going to have a man come and disrupt that and make you feel uncomfortable in any way, because I'm never going to do that. My child comes first. You're never going to put me in a position where I got to choose a man over my child. Or if you so Christ-like, Christ ain't gonna never put you in the position to choose between a man and your child. So that shit is out the window. That's one thing I can say. How when we talk about how white people raise, pedophiles and school shooters, and they do. But one thing that Black people do, while we may not necessarily raise that, we hide it because we know the relatives that you say when they come over, oh, where them kids at? They can't go put them in the room, or they can't come out until this person leave, or make sure that they're dressed and they have clothes on.
That's
Because
what my grandma used to do.
because the girls, and like my dad didn't want anything to ever, he wasn't in a ever, but he was so to the point where I'm not even gonna change a diaper. But that was, again, he was an old school man, and that was a whole nother thing in and of itself. But he did not bathe us. He never, not that he was worried about doing something, but he just never wanted the slightest bit of impropriety anywhere, which is that was where his, he comes from a time where he wasn't even allowed in the delivery room. So I can understand, his old school thinking about that, but he didn't bathe us. He didn't change us because it was like, you're a girl, and even though I'm your dad, I don't want no man, nobody, your mother should be, doing it. I don't even want you to have it in your head that a man can touch you, even if it's, me, and it's not in inappropriate type of way. But I think a lot of these mothers and stuff, your child, sometimes they don't even have to say anything to you. You know what it is. And you're just trying to tell yourself that it's not that for the sake of wanting to be with a man. It's never like a man is never worth your child, or having what happened to you, and then to blame it on sexuality. Well, okay, if that's the route you're gonna take, it wasn't you. You were a kid. It was this one. So was the faggot shit with him? If that's what the case was, and clearly it wasn't that, because he said if it's gonna be one or the other. So instead of like, I think as Black people, we need to get beyond the, oh, it stays in the family, or we can work it out in the family. And then you don't understand why 10 and 20 and 30 years later, your children don't talk to you, or they don't come to the family functions, or they don't entertain you in any way. And this is why. And that's one thing about this generation of Black people that I am proud of, is that we're not doing the bullshit anymore. We're not entertaining the secrets. We're not putting ourselves in harm's way anymore. It's like, okay, if you want to continue to support that person, I won't be here.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can say about this generation of Black people, is that we're not going for that shit. That family secret shit, the generational curses, we're not doing that anymore. Because if you know who the threat is, eliminate the threat. The same thing with these men and their friends. You know you got rapists in your group. You know you got sexual assaulters in your group. But you also have daughters. And my thing is, if you wouldn't leave your best friend around your child, then why are you friends with them? Because if you wouldn't let them around your child, why are you around them?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. Now I want to go back to answer the question. The people I regret being around, it was a fault of my own, because my mother really didn't let me spend the night out like that, but I really wanted to spend the night at this particular friend's house. And I used to date her brother, and her uncle came in. She was sleeping across the couch across from me. And her uncle came in and bent over and said, "This is what I heard. I heard him say, you're not gonna let me do it to you tonight." And then when I got up, I left in the middle of the night. I was calling her name. She wasn't saying nothing. The next day, had my mom come over. My mom called the police. Police said it wasn't nothing they can do because there was no actual crime. And the man said that he asked me, "Oh, so you're not gonna let her brother do it to me?" His nickname was Duke. He was like, "So you're not gonna let Duke do it to you?" But even if that is what you said and I misheard you, you're a grown ass man asking a 12, 13-year-old if I'm going to let somebody do it to me. What type of shit is that? What type of question is that to ask a child? And then for the police to say there was no actual crime because he didn't do anything to me, that's a whole nother subject in itself that I'm not going to dive into, because they protect predators at all costs, and that shit pissed me off. But going back to the first video of the lady waking that little girl up, if you don't want your job, just fucking say that. Cause how would you feel if somebody woke you the fuck up like that? How would you feel if somebody just yanked you up out your sleep, didn't make sure you was stable? This is a child. Probably didn't just learn how to walk a couple months ago. Like, why the fuck would you just stand her up and leave her to fend for herself just to fall on her face? And then you don't even fucking console her. This is why with both of my kids, I stayed home with them until they was old enough to talk and tell me if somebody was bothering them at daycare, because I do not trust people. And then the second video with the meatball, why the fuck would you give a child, a 2-year-old, a whole ass meatball? Chop that shit up. Is that not common
It's
sense?
just ignorance. Just
No,
blatant
they killed that.
ignorance.
They killed that baby. I don't care what nobody says.
They killed,
They
yeah.
killed that baby, and they was hiding it and covering up. I honestly, low key, think that baby was already dead. That baby was already gone before that mom showed up, and they did. You know, they was playing it out for dramatics to act like they was doing some life saving shit. That baby was already gone. I don't care what nobody say. That baby was already gone. If that mother is 3 minutes away. And I understand you calling the police or whatever, but you could have somebody else at the daycare call her and tell her to come here. And in some ways, that's neither here nor there. But you knew when you gave that child, that fully a 2-year-old, that type of thing. Because I don't care if it was a white child, you would have cut that fucking food up.
Okay.
And when they say everything is not about race, it absolutely the fuck is. Because the way that lady woke that black baby up, did you go do that to give that blanket to a white kid? Because ain't no fucking way. Why would you wake a baby up like that? She just sitting there sleeping peacefully.
Yeah.
And it was and she did it. It's not like she was tapped her and she didn't wake up and then, you go a little bit like, hey, come on. No, you literally did it. I would go, you know what? Let me in there so I can yank that bitch like that. Let me in there so I would have been able to pull her out her fucking sleep like that. That's what's wrong. And I get you taking shit to social media and you feel bad and things like that. You might want to bring awareness, but fuck all that. It wouldn't have been a video on social. It would have been the after video. It would have been a video of me being hauled off the fucking jail because I whipped your ass to the point where I gotta catch a motherfucking case. Stop putting this shit on social media and knock these white people the fuck out. That director, you coming to hug me? No, bitch. Every last one of y'all is getting your ass whooped in here today. If it ain't by me, it's gonna be by my people. You getting your ass whooped in here today. If I would have saw that video of you waking my child up like that, no, go get me that bitch. She ain't even gotta be asleep for me to rock her shit. She could be wide fuck awake, and I'm gonna make her wish she was fucking asleep. That's what I want us to start doing. Stop taking this shit to social media. The minute it happens, I need us to go back to pre-social media when we just fucking you up. Because when my mama showed up at the schoolhouse, you already knew not to play with me. I don't give a fuck. That's the same thing about with my child. If I gotta come down there for something, y'all gonna answer me.
Yeah.
Because my daughter had a situation with the bus driver, a black bus driver. I said, bitch, when you pull up here, I will get on the bus. And I call downtown and let them know. Amen. I will be at the bus stop. And when them doors open, she's going to have to see me. So either y'all gonna talk to her or I'm going to talk to her. But we gonna have a fucking conversation. And you ain't gonna like my conversation because it's gonna end with some hands.
Now I do want to go down a little rabbit hole right quick fast, y'all, because y'all know I can't help myself. This is why I always have a conversation about how, number one, it don't really take a 2-parent household, but the system and the way the system was created is for us to not have enough time to spend with our children. The way we work long hours and we gotta work 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, and then people wonder how stuff like this can happen. If that parent, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that parent worked, but for myself, I had to put my kid in daycare because I had to go to work in order to be able to maintain bills and keep a roof over their head. So it's like the way the system created, you go to work, we watch your kids, we do whatever we want to your kids, we mess your kids up, and then your kids get in the street and get in trouble, and then we blame you for not being a parent. But how can I be a parent when I'm at the fuck work all the time?
And you're not able to provide like the necessary care that they need to make sure that they're doing something correctly, or trust me, I get it.
How can you, if you got to work all day, if you work from 8 to 5, especially in the summertime, and you don't really have nobody to watch your kids, You work 8 to 5, and then sometimes some parents get off work, come home for a quick second, go work a second job, go work an overnight job. Who is watching your kids? A lot of times they talk about these quote unquote YNs, which I don't like to call them that, but they talk about these YNs and what's going on right now, these young men and how untamed they are. And they be like, well, where's the parents? At work. You can't keep an eye on your child 24/7 if you have to work. It's not possible because they done took away bring your child to work day. So you can't even take your kids to school. I mean, get your kids to work with you no more. You can't it's literally making it hard on parents to be a parent. And yet y'all making up all these laws where we have to have kids.
Yeah.
But we can't parent the kids y'all making us have.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. The cost of living too high for you to just work one job a lot of the times, especially if you're a single parent. The cost of living is ridiculous.
Well, you know what? I want to read some of the comments before we start ending the show because it's 20 minutes and Maisha, you coming?
Yes.
All right. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Maya and Nikki, when y'all come out here, y'all can come to one of our brunches.
Ooh.
So this is what some people said on here. So sweeter hand do so. What the hell? When one mother cries, we all cry. AC bruh, this is insane. Who gives a 2-year-old child a meatball like that? Choking hazard 101. Kayla 3 Lane 3. Life back devices should be mandatory at any and all child care facilities. These save lives and could have been used within seconds. How absolutely horrific. Prayers for this family. And Vashni W. CPR would not need to be done if staff had food service training. How this can happen if food was cut up and a teacher at the table. I'm gonna help you with some spelling. I was trying to follow them. All right, so we are about to go into our ending segments, and Miss Maya, take us away with the history lesson.
Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it very short and sweet. I'm just gonna give y'all 2 little history things that you may or may not have known. Okay, so the first one is the origination of sagging. A lot of people were taught, like myself, that sagging started in prison. Not true at all. Sagging started back in slavery because it was the pretty much the slave masters would make slaves sag to show potential buyers who was already broke in, as well as they made them sag in order for them to pick who they was going to lay with that night. And these are that's really a thing. And if you want to mess your mind up a little bit more, spell sagging backwards.
Yeah.
And then the second one that I'm going to do is cat hauling. Have y'all ever heard of cat hauling?
Well, cat calling, but not hauling.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so cat hauling is the reason why most Black people don't like cats, and we didn't know why. I know I'm terrified of cats. Miss Nikki loves cats. Okay, she got her
Got Jean Grey over there.
Okay. Now, cat hauling was used back during slavery time. What they would do is strap slaves down, and they would take a cat by the tail and pull them down the back of a slave as a form of torture.
Oh my God.
They just be inventing all types of just evil practices.
Yeah. But we the thugs and the ones who are violent. But y'all do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what, Miss Maya, thank you for that history lesson. That was definitely informative. And we're going to go to our judge, Nikki, to lay down some verdicts.
I'm trying to see who I wanted to read today because it's just so much going on. But I'm gonna cover this in depth on Court of No Appeals. But Mango Mussolini and this whole bringing people to DC shit. I really, because I want to read, because it's him, but like I said, it's the Democrat. I want to read him and the Democrats too, because this is why we are where we are right now. This man is bringing a National Guard into a place, into where his own fucking city for crime. Not saying they don't exist. You know what? Let me scratch. Let me go far. This is who I want to read. Maya, can you help me, or Chris? what is the lady, the two women that got up there in DC? It was the mayor and the police. Was she the police chief? They had a press conference. They were
Yeah,
in DC.
I don't know their names though.
Okay, so the police lady, they both got up there and like, I don't necessarily want to say they capitulated, but I think the mayor lady was being more strategic in saying like, okay, I'm gonna let you have it. Because what he expected was for them to go the fuck off, right? And I could see it, and I saw it from that angle. But then when you had the Metro PD lady who gave him what he fucking wanted, and then he turned around and told Pam Bondi to tell this bitch that you're not even in charge no more. The DEA is now in charge of your shit. ICE is in charge of your shit. This is what happens when you're black and you're in charge and you still give power. Like you could have found another fucking way to, and not even you did capitulate. I correct myself. Like, but then you had another guy, I want to say not Illinois, Maryland. He was from some other place. I can't think of it right now, but I saw a video of him saying that if you send a National Guard to my city, that's not fucking happening. I'm telling you right fucking now, as a person in charge of this place, you're not coming here. And I think that's what all these black, because he's only doing it in black places. He only mentioned bringing the National Guard in Oakland and, you know, all these black cities. He ain't doing this shit in white neighborhoods. And I think all of these black people need to start getting together and say, no, you're not doing this. And this is what the Democrats need to start doing, is saying that we're not putting up with this bullshit, because the reason why Trump is doing what he's doing is because he's just fucking doing it. He's not waiting. You can't use law and order on a motherfucker that think he above the law.
Mm-hmm.
We're so busy looking for the moral high ground. We're so busy trying to look good when we're doing this shit. This ain't the game that's being played right now. And yeah, MAGA is the reason why we're here, but Democrats are the reason why we're here, because we're still out here trying to be nice. We're still out here trying to use a playbook for rules that's no longer in play. The reason why they go for Trump, the reason why they saying he's getting shit done, even though he's not getting shit done, is because he's telling you, hey, I'm going to make it to where, you know, segregation is okay again. And he's just writing these fucking things and nobody's doing anything. Nobody's challenging it. So it's looking like it again, white people are about perception. It looks like he's doing everything he wants to do. None of this shit is really taking effect, but these white racist people don't care about that. They want the illusion of power. And he's giving y'all that. He's giving y'all masterpiece fucking theater. He is taking shit. He's doing what white people have always done. He's just taking it. He's not asking for permission. He's not even asking for fucking forgiveness. He's just taking. He's just doing. And that is what white people want. And he's giving them that. He's not really giving them anything else other than that. He's giving them the illusion of power, which is not going to pay your bills. When they start getting foreclosed on, when they start losing their fucking homes, when they start not even being able to eat, I want that racism to feel your fucking hunger at night. I want that racism to have a roof over you. When you don't have anything, cling to your fucking racism, because that is what they're doing. He is giving the illusion of power. And Democrats are giving the illusion of getting our asses whooped, because that's what's happening right now. You're still trying to appeal to a group of people that can't be appealed to, instead of saying we're not dealing with this shit and actually making moves to not deal with it. It's some Democrats in Texas that's doing some things, but what about the Democrats in Washington? Y'all don't want people like Jasmine Crockett that's getting up there telling y'all the truth. You don't want that, because you still want white power. Democrats want white power just like fucking MAGA. And I think that's the part that we need to start addressing, is that MAGA is MAGA, but Democrats are MAGA light. Same racism, less fucking calories. That's all the fuck it is. It's the same shit. They want white power. And I think that this is why we are where we are. And when we wake up in motherfucking 2026 Nazi Germany, it's gonna be because of Democrats. Not Democrats, not like the black people voting democratically, because as black people, we know that the Democratic Party is not perfect, but we also know Republican ain't a motherfucking option for us. It's never been an option for, I mean, it's an option for some of you motherfuckers, but us as a whole, you could be anything you want to be in my household, but you can't be no motherfucking Republican. I told my daughter that from the beginning. I said, you could be whatever you want to be in life. but you can't be a goddamn Republican. Not in this household.
So what is your verdict?
My verdict is that the Democratic Party in Washington and everywhere else, whatever elected official you are, it's time to get off your motherfucking ass and start murking motherfuckers, just like MAGA doing. It's not time to ask for forgiveness. It's not time to ask for permission. It's just time to do shit. Because what the fuck can happen, especially white people? They ain't gonna shoot you. Get your ass up there and start doing, get your crack ass up there and make yourself useful. My verdict is the white people, Democratic people, make yourselves useful. Because you crackers ain't angry enough for me. You hating ass honkies ain't angry enough for me. And I need you to get fucking angry because niggas ain't doing it this time. I need y'all to get angry. My verdict is get fucking angry and stop pussyfooting around.
Well, thank you so much, Judge Nikki. And we're about to close out the show. And so I didn't have a lot of videos. For some reason, this week had just nothing but turmoil and chaos. I didn't see hardly any good videos on Instagram.
Welcome to America.
It was all either the DC riot or there was something with the ICE raids. It was nothing positive. So I did find this one on here. This is Look Into History. So this is in Japan. So taking a nap at work, known as inamuri, isn't considered lazy. It's often seen as a mark of dedication. The thinking goes, if you're tired enough to fall asleep at your desk, you must be working hard. Rather than discouraging it, many workplaces quietly accept or even support short rest breaks to help restore energy and focus. This cultural norm stems from Japan's intense work ethic and long hours. Research has shown that well-timed naps can improve concentration, creativity, and decision-making, benefits many Japanese companies have embraced to promote employee well-being. Some offices have even introduced nap-friendly spaces with recliners or special chairs designed just for rest. I love that job. That would be pretty cool. All right, so we are about to do outros, and Miss Maya, where can they find you at?
You can find me on all platforms at Maya Lamise. Also on YouTube, Elevate with Maya.
Awesome. And Miss Nikki?
You can find me on Instagram at bitch_happens, on TikTok, bitch happens, all one word, and on YouTube, knickknack23, that's NIKNAK23.
Awesome. And Miss Maisha, I got your profile up.
Okay, get into it.
Talk about your brand and where can they find you at as well?
Yeah, they can follow me on all social platforms at I am Maisha, IAMMIESHA. You can follow my business pages at The Ready Lab, which is my ed tech startup that I started, which is focused on helping small businesses, nonprofits get connected and ready for funding opportunities, because most people that look like us, the problem is not that we don't have a great idea, it's the fact that we're not ready. So I'm preparing my people so they can get access to capital the right way, because a lot of those white spaces have white faces, and we are struggling to get the capital we need to continue to grow and create sustainable businesses. So I'm filling in that gap. I also have a branding and marketing agency called the Brand Suite Agency, which specializes in helping people develop brands that connects online through content creation, storytelling. And we are doing some great work in the city of LA, working with over 400 small nonprofits and businesses, be able to not only build up their brands, but to create that generational wealth we all love to talk about, but actually doing it and sustaining it. So y'all can find me on all social platforms. I do have a YouTube as well called Grow with Maisha, so you can see all aspects of my life, me solo traveling, me focus on business, and then going through the ebbs and flows of life. So follow me on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for having me today.
Oh, thank you, Maisha. You know what? That was probably the best co-host presentation we have had about your whole business, your platform, what you do, how you benefit, the Black community, because we know that we don't get a lot of the loans like other ones. So thank you for what you do. I do see you doing the work. I watch your feeds all the time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we coming, y'all, for the people.
And as always, I'm your host, Vision X. And in addition to that, I will also be restarting the ILTG live. That's going to be more of something that's focused on just like reviews and countdowns and et cetera, or just like big topic stories just that has that one topic. And so I'll be restarting that again soon. Other than that, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.